Hello and welcome to this tutorial on understanding number. During this tutorial we will consider an exercise called 10 out of 10. It starts with a number of key points regarding each topic. And as far as understanding number is concerned, the key points that we need to be aware of, there are 4 numerical operators, namely addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. The signs for the 4 operators are a plus sign, a minus sign, a times sign, and sometimes a divide sign, but it can also be shown as an oblique line. Remember, multiples are just your times tables, and factors are any numbers that divide equally into another number. Prime numbers are numbers that divide equally only by 1 and the number itself. 10 out of 10. Question 1. Define the term multiple. This is straightforward. It's any number that's in your times table. Question 2. Define the term factor. Any number that divides equally into another number is called a factor. Define the term prime number. Any number that divides equally by 1 and itself is known as a prime number. Question 4. Write down the factors of 30. Now we must note at this point, these are all of the numbers that divide equally into 30. So let's have a look at them. The answer is 1, because that divides into 30 times, 2, which divides equally 15 times, 3, which divides equally 10 times, 5, which divides equally 6 times, 6, which divides equally 5 times, 10, which divides equally 3 times, 15, which divides equally twice, and finally 30 itself, which divides into 30 once. Question 5. Calculate the first 10 multiples of 7. Again, I'm sure you remember that a multiple is just your times tables. So we're looking for the first 10 answers in the 7 times table. Let's have a look at that. So 1 7 is 7, 2 7s are 14, 3 7s are 21, 4 7s 28, 5 7s 35, 6 7s 42, 7 7s 49, 8 7s 56, 9 7s are 63, and finally 10 7s are 70. So that's the first 7 multiples. Let's say it again, the first 10 multiples within the 7 times table. Question 6. Calculate the multiples of 6 in the following list of numbers: 4, 12, 24, 35, 37, 48, 54, and 70. If we look at each one in turn, we can see that 4 is not in your 6 times table, but 12 is. 24 is, because 6 4s are 24. 35 is not in your 6 times table. 37 is not in your 6 times table. 48 is in the 6 times table because 8 6s are 48. 9 6s are 54, so we have to include that. And the final number 70 is not in the 6 times table, so therefore it is not a multiple of 6. So once again, there's the answer: 12, 24, 48, and 54. Question 7. How many factors of 56 can you identify in the list below? 7, 8, 14, 16, 28, and 57. Once again, looking at each of these in turn. 7 divides into 56 8 times, so that's a factor. 8 divides into 56 7 times, so that's a factor. 14 divides into 56 4 times, so that's also a factor. So recapping on that, 7, 8 and 14 are all factors of 56. 16 doesn't divide equally into 56. However, 28 does. 28 into 56 goes 2 times. Finally, 57 is obviously not a factor of 56 because it's higher than the number itself. Once again, recapping on the numbers, 7, 8, 14 and 28, as they all divide equally into 56, are in actual fact factors of 56. Question 8. Can you spot the multiples of both 3 and 5 from this set of numbers? 2, 6, 15, 20, 45, 60 and 75. Again, we're looking for numbers that occur in both your 3 and your 5 times table. Looking at this list, you can see that 15 does, 45 does, 60 does, and also 75 itself. So once again, there's the answer: 15, 45, 60 and 75. Question 9. Which of the following are prime numbers? Once again, I'm sure you remember a prime number is any number that only divides equally by 1 and itself. So looking at the list, we have 2, 3, 8, 11, 41, 61, 73, 80 and 111. Prime numbers from this list are 2, 3, 11, 41, 61 and 111. Finally, question 10. From the following list, identify all of the prime numbers, all of the multiples of 8, and all of the factors of 44. So in our list we have 7, 11, 22, 32, 41, 61, 76, and 132. From this, you can see that we have the prime numbers 7, 11, 41, and 61. We have one multiple of 8, which is 32, because 4 8s are 32. And finally, 22 is the only factor in the list of 44. 22 going into 44 2 times. Now check your progress. How many questions did you answer correctly? If you got between 1 and 4, repeat the whole exercise again. If you got between 5 and 6, repeat only the questions you answered incorrectly. If you got between 7 and 10, you're making very good progress, and now you can move on to the next topic. That's the end of this tutorial from Tuition TV, which is sponsored by Phil Cork Learning Solutions. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.